George Parr, you are an investment banker.
I am, yes.
Yes. And as such, you have your fingers right on the pulse of the financial market.
Yeah, very much so, yes.
And during the summer, there's been a great deal of turbulence and volatility
in the market, yes. Tremendous, yes, tremendous.
Yes. And what has caused that?
Well, you have to remember two things about the market. One is that they are made up of very sharp and sophisticated people who, these are the greatest brains in the world. And the second thing you have to remember is that the financial markets, to use the common phrase, are driven by sentiment.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, things, let's say, are just going along as normal in the market, and then suddenly, out of the blue, one of these very sharp and sophisticated people says, "My God, something awful's going to happen! We've lost everything! Oh, my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?"
Shall I jump out of the window?
Shall I jump out of the window? Exactly. Let's all jump out of the window.
Sell!
We've lost it. Sell!
Yes.
Precisely.
Yes.
And then a few days later, this same sophisticated person said, I think things are going rather well. And everybody says, "Yes, I agree with you. I think we're rich. We're rich. Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what we call market sentiment.
Yes. Surely we are exaggerating just a bit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in August, in the middle of August this year, when the market absolutely plunged in London, a well-known city firm, State Street Global Markets, issued a statement in which it said, and I quote, "Market participants don't know whether to buy on the rumor and sell on the news, do the opposite, do both, or do neither, depending on which way the wind is blowing," unquote.
Yes, and this is the kind of rigorous analysis that companies will pay huge salaries for.
Yes, exactly. And a few days later, when the markets had gone up a little bit, the senior equities advisor on ABM Ambrose Morgan said, and I quote, "We're back to happy days again."
Well, no price is too high for that kind of mature wisdom,
certainly
is it?
Not. The reason this sort of people are paid millions of pounds in bonuses.
Yes, of course. During this summer, there have been actual causes behind the volatility in the markets, haven't there? I mean, specifically and especially in America, granting vast numbers of mortgages to people who can't afford them on properties which are diminishing in value.
It's the so-called subprime situation, yes.
The subprime
market.
Yes. How does that work, in fact?
Well, imagine, if you can, say, an unemployed black man sitting on a crumbling porch somewhere in Alabama in his string vest, and a chap comes along and said, "Would you like to buy this house before it falls down? And why don't you let me lend you the money?"
And is this chap who says this, is he a banker?
Oh, no. He's a mortgage salesman. His income depends entirely on the number of mortgages that he can arrange.
So his judgment to arrange mortgages is completely objective?
Completely objective, yes. Absolutely.
It would. Yes. And what happens next?
Well, then this debt, this mortgage, is debt, is taken, bought by a bank and packaged together on Wall Street with a lot of other similar debts.
Without going into much detail about what is actually...
Without going into any detail. No, it's far too boring. And so this is put into a package of debt, and then it's moved on to Wall Street, and it's extraordinary what happens then, that somehow this package of dodgy debts stops being a package of dodgy debts and starts being what we call a structured investment vehicle.
And SIV?
An SIV, exactly, yes.
Yes, I see. And then someone like you comes along and buys it.
I buy it, yes, and then I will ring up, I don't know, somebody in Tokyo and say, "Look, I've got this package, do you want to buy it?" And they say, "What's in it?" And I say, "I haven't got the faintest idea." And they say, "How much do you want for it?" And I say, $100 million. And then they say, "Fine, that's it." And that's the market.
And presumably this package, I mean, that kind of thing can happen several times to the same package.
Possibly, yes.
And every time it does, of course, then you or someone like you will get a fee and a markup.
And a profit, yes.
And so
well, if I'm expected to do it for nothing, it's hard work.
In view of the fact that in these packages is a lot of dodgy debt, what is it about it that attracts the financial, risk takers?
Yeah, well, because these hedge funds, as they're called, which specialize in these debts, they all have very good names.
You mean they're responsible companies?
No, I don't. It's nothing to do with their reputation. They have actually very, very good names. The names they think up of them are very good. I'll give you an example. There's a very well-known American Wall Street firm called Bear Stearns, who have two of these hedge funds which specialize in these mortgage debts. And they lost so much money, lost so much of its value, that Bear Stearns announced that they would have to put in $3.2 billion into one of the funds to try and keep it afloat.
$3.2 billion?
$3.2 billion, yes. And even then they said the investors couldn't get any money out of it and they were going to let the other fund go. But one of these funds was called the High Grade Structured Credit Strategies Fund. And the other was called the High Grade Structured Credit Enhanced Leverage Fund.
Well, that sounds very good.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
It sounds very trustworthy.
Actually, this is the magic of the market. What started off as lending a few $1,000s to an unemployed black man in a string vest has become a high-grade structured credit enhanced leverage fund.
I like the sound of it.
It is good. Well, it sounds very trustworthy. I mean, it's got good words in it. It's got words like high.
High is good.
High is good. Yes. Better than low, anyway, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And structured is another good word.
Very good.
Enhanced.
I love enhanced.
Enhanced is very good.
I mean, I'd buy anything if it said enhanced.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
It might have been different if it said the unemployed black man in the string vest fund, but
yes, because then alarm bells might start to ring. But despite these very plausible names, surely the reality is that the people that lent all this money have been incredibly stupid.
Oh, no. The reality is that what was stupid is that at some point somebody asked how much money these houses were actually worth. I mean, if they hadn't bothered to ask that question, then everything would have gone on as perfectly normal. But unfortunately, they did.
I see, but now, you see, people are saying the crisis is likely to turn into financial meltdown. I mean, can that be avoided?
It can be avoided, provided that governments and central banks give us, the financial speculators, back the money that we've lost.
But isn't that rewarding greed and stupidity?
No. It's rewarding what the Prime Minister Gordon Brown called the ingenuity of the markets. That is
You see, and
we don't want this money to spend on ourselves. We want this money just to go into the market so that we can carry on borrowing and lending money as if nothing had happened without thinking too much about it.
Yes, but if the worst came to the worst and you didn't get this money, what then?
Well, then there'd be another market crash, and then I would say to you what people like me always say, that it's not us that will suffer, it's your pension fund.
Thank you very much, George Parr.
A pleasure.
Bé, a part de la diversió del vídeo, coses que hauríem de tenir en compte, no?, que ens diuen, no? Recordeu una frase que diu: lo estúpid és que algú preguntés què és el que valia de veritat aquelles cases, no? ¿Vale? Que és el mateix que ens va passar aquí a Espanya, segurament, no? Clar, molt bé, el mercat immobiliari als Estats Units s'enfonsa, el mercat financer als Estats Units s'enfonsa, i això què té a veure amb nosaltres? No? Estan allà, no? No, això ens va afectar, no? Ens afecta, no? Doncs, quins són els detonadors d'aquesta crisi a Europa? Penseu que hi ha una cosa, són els, que ells han parlat, hi ha hagut un moment que han parlat, que són els hedge funds, no? Els hedge funds són fons d'inversió opacs. Què vol dir això? Recordeu aquell senyor Almado, que va muntar la seva piràmide i no sé quina història? Ostres, ningú sabia. És que no ho tenien que saber ningú. ¿Vale? Perquè un hedge fund és un fons d'inversió opac que dona una rentabilitat concreta, no? I és opac vol dir que ningú sap a què juga aquell fons d'inversió, perquè si ho sabéssim, el copiaríem, no? I aleshores, clar, el tio no vol que el copiïn, no? El hedge fund, per definició, és opac. Aleshores, molts d'aquests actius, d'aquestes hipoteques que junten, no? ¿Vale? Hipoteques de subprime, no? Que tenien un alt risc, que a través d'un instrument que es diu el CDO es converteixen es classifiquen com hipoteques molt bones, no? Perquè es barregen i fan tota una jugada, no? Es Es munten en uns paquets que donen rendibilitats molt altes, no? Ningú sap el que hi ha en aquell paquet. El problema és que molts bancs van comprar paquets d'aquests, i molts bancs europeus van comprar aquests paquets. Aleshores, nosaltres, a les nostres xerrades, vam identificar 3 factors importants que provoquen aquesta crisi financera. Una és la crisi de confiança bancària, perquè els bancs tenen uns paquets tòxics, és a dir, paper mullat, en definitiva, que no saben molt bé què és el que tenen. Una altra és l'Europa aquesta curiosa, que tenim interessos diferents als països, i una altra són les irregularitats dels comptes grecs. Si us sembla, comencem amb les irregularitats dels comptes nacionals grecs. Resulta que el 2008 el primer ministre grec, Georgios Papandreou, declara que han fet trampa. Per entrar a la Unió Monetària, resulta, ell no ho sabia, ell ho descobreix, però ho descobreix i ho acaba dient perquè no li queda més remei perquè tenen uns problemes financers. Han fet trampes per entrar a l'euro. Han fet trampes, han falsejat els seus comptes nacionals. Curiosament, i tampoc ara seria objecte de discussió, però qui auditava els comptes era una empresa que es deia Goldman Sachs, un banc d'inversió enorme i importantíssim en el món. Doncs, fixeu-vos, això és parèntesis. Hi ha un tio que es diu Mario Draghi, que en aquest moment és el governador o el president del Banc Central Europeu. El Mario Draghi, que és aquest senyor que veieu aquí, doncs entre el gener del 2002 i el gener del 2006 va ser vicepresident per a Europa a Goldman Sachs. És en aquesta època quan s'ajuda el govern grec a falsejar les seves dades. I qui és el governador del Banc Central de Grècia en aquells moments? Un senyor que es diu Lucas Papademos. Aquest senyor en aquests moments és el primer ministre grec. Goldman Sachs sembla que té uns tentacles importants, perquè el primer ministre també és un altre tecnòcrata en aquests moments a Itàlia, és un senyor que es diu Mario Monti, i el Mario Monti també estava a sou de Goldman Sachs. Nosaltres això ens provocava una mica de desconcert. Europa. Clar, a Europa tenim una unió monetària, alguns països, tenim una moneda única, comuna, però tenim una desunió política i fiscal importantíssima. Cadascú pensem en els nostres interessos. També hem de pensar que el pressupost que té la Unió Europea per fer front a tot això és molt petit, molt petit. És l'1,2% del PIB europeu. Per tant, tampoc és que tingui molta força. I després, clar, vull dir, Europa és una, però Europa són la tira, amb interessos diferents, cultures diferents. Alemanya té uns interessos econòmics que no tenen res a veure amb els interessos que tenim a Espanya. Per tant, la veritat és que és molt complexa, molt complexa. I clar, la tercera, i segurament aquesta deu ser la més important, és que els bancs europeus havien comprat paquets d'aquests tòxics. Per tant, el més greu és que el banc A tenia paquets tòxics, però no sabia què és el que tenia, o què és el que no tenia. El que sabia és que tenia un alt risc amb el que posseïa. I sobretot sabia que els seus veïns, el banc B, el C, el D i l'E, també tenien paquets tòxics. Per tant, a partir d'ara, jo ja no vull saber res dels meus veïns, ja no me n'enfio d'ells. I aleshores tenim un problema de manca de liquiditat. Tenim una manca de liquiditat que vol dir que els bancs deixen de deixar diners a la gent. Ja no es deixen diners entre ells, per tant, no aconsegueixen més els calés suficients i comencen a no deixar diners a la gent. Això, no sé si és l'espoleta, però coincideix amb l'explosió de la bombolla immobiliària. Les principals víctimes, Espanya i Irlanda, que érem els països que havíem tingut una bombolla immobiliària absolutament increïble, recordeu, encara estem visquent les conseqüències de tot això, els pisos valien una bogeria i no paraven de pujar, la inversió de tots, etc. Clar, quan els bancs comencen a no deixar calés, tot això acaba passant.